All right, hopefully this works out better than the last one. I see the internet says it's fine. Try it again. I always try it at least a couple of times if it doesn't seem like it's working right. Got to give it at least a couple of tries before I give up on it. Oh, of course. The screen's fucking black now. Oh, you know what? I think I just might have bumped the camera plug-in. That might be my fault. Yeah, that was my fault. Hey, as long as the internet stays connected, that's all that matters, right? Went from 7 to 4. They were like, black screen, I'm out of here. Yeah, my laptop I have that I've been doing all this over. Hey, Lionheart Arts. My laptop that I have that I've been doing all this over because my other streaming laptop has a motherboard issue, which is going to cost me like $800, which I haven't fixed yet. But this one, in order for it to have a Cat 5 plugged into it, it needs a USB 3.0 hub adapter that has a Cat 6, I guess is what it is, on it. And that thing has been giving me problems recently, and I need it to start working right. I ordered another one, but it's not going to be here until next week, and I really need it to start working right because I have a interview set up. Hey, Ilanda Hibbler. I have an interview set up with a very well-known YouTuber for my podcast tomorrow. And I really don't need it shutting off and going on and stuff like that. I really need it to be steady. So how's the picture? Is the picture okay and everything? I'm just plan on chatting with you guys while I do some work I was planning on doing anyways. It's been a little while since I've had... that camera's not in the right spot. It's been a little while since I have had... done any live stream with my peoples just to chat and stuff like that. So I wanted to get something like that up, and it's still not quite right. Got to tilt it just a little bit more because I got a good community. I like to keep that community flowing. Next Sunday's my birthday. Yesterday was my son's birthday. Oh, sorry about the jiggliness of the camera. Let's see how that is. That's better. Only top part of my head is cut off. I want you to be able to see what I'm working on. So, I mean, it's you guys aren't going to see much from over there because I'm going to be taking pictures of stuff and loading them in boxes. Catfish Hunter, how you doing, man? I like to hear that the picture is clear. That makes me happy. Picture's not always clear. I need this damn USB hub that has my Cat 6 running into it to start working really well because of that interview I have set up for tomorrow for my new podcast with a very well-known YouTuber that all of you guys are going to really like to hear. Last Sunday was your hubby's birthday, and he lost his father. I'm so sorry for his loss and your loss, Margaret. That really sucks. Happy belated birthday to him. I didn't know this. I just found out that my great uncle's birthday is the day after mine. Mine's the 26th, his the 27th. My son's is the 19th. Probably started the 40s. I've learned a couple of little tricks when I'm loading up these boxes and stuff. So all this stuff here you see is 15 boxes ready to be loaded up for people to purchase fire agate from. These I think are going to be really good. They are 5 or 6 pieces, including one very large piece that's already showing color, and then a half pound of top grade expected to have amazing colors in it added onto it. So it's half private stock and it's half high grade fire agate. So these should be really good boxes. And even if sometimes these live streams are as exciting as watching paint dry, as that one guy who popped in said, I have a really great chat. And so I like to do this at least once or twice a week so that my chat can have some time to reconnect and say hi to each other and stuff like that. I initially planned on carving fire agate today, and I have 3 pieces of amazing fire agate to carve on live stream that I'd worked on at one point in time and then put down, 2 of them being really deep purples. Yet I have to get this stuff in the store. The store is starting to run dry on the WoW stuff that people will want to buy. And I got to get that money coming in because my unemployment was denied. Yay, screw Florida's unemployment. Like, they totally denied me, even though only reason I'm out of work right now is because of COVID. They totally denied me for everything, which really upset me a bit. Let's see, that's a horrible spot for those. Put them up there. That's a better spot. I want to mark up a couple of more boxes so I can have them ready to go. And if you liked some of those pieces that were in the last video I posted up just of the pretty fire agate with the colors in it that I had carved, those are all in the store right now. These boxes will be $100 each box, Ed. And if you buy 2 or more boxes, no matter how many boxes you buy over 2, I will ship all the boxes for the price of 2. So if you buy 5 boxes, then I'll stick 5 boxes in a medium flat rate shipping box and then ship you 5 boxes for the price of 2 boxes. But if you plan on buying 5 or more boxes, I need you to let me know so that I can adjust the price in the shipping on the boxes that you plan on purchasing. I've only had one person do this, but it worked out pretty well. He told me what he wanted in a message, and I immediately went in and changed that stuff inside the store, and then he immediately purchased them, and so he got what he wanted. Saved a little bit of money on shipping, which saved like $30. Which reminds me, they upped their shipping prices. I have to up my shipping prices because now I'm paying a little bit. It's only some change, but Lionheart Art Resort, I have like 500 pounds of Saddle Mountain agate I need cleaned in my backyard. Hey, B. Davis. Hey, Lionheart Arts. Yeah, this stuff is, I'll show you some of this stuff, although there'll definitely be some pictures up. Maybe I'll do a picture video again. That tends to work well for letting people know what's in there. But there's like 5 or 6 pieces that all have color already showing. And then there's going to be a ½ pound of top grade carvers that's not showing yet, but will once you start cutting into them. I also have 20 pounds of high-grade Slaughter Mountain back here that I cleaned off the majority of the matrix. And this stuff, last time I saw somebody selling it of it about this quality, they were selling it online for $120 a pound. I was thinking about selling all 20. It's 20.5 pounds. I was thinking about selling all 20 pounds for $1,500, which would be like a $700 savings. Yeah, that's right, Resort Dog. You never called. Do you have a smartphone, buddy? or a good computer with an okay camera, like at least even good computers have crappy cameras on them, man. My computer's a good computer, yet the webcam on it's shit. I mean, if you just have an okay smartphone, resort dog, and a tripod with a smartphone clip to put it on, we could totally do an interview through Skype with that. My third-party recorder picks up NDI signals from cell phones. I tested that this weekend, and I had really great video, really great audio, and I could totally do a podcast with somebody's smartphone. And I don't plan on putting any of those podcasts actually out into the public until I have at least 5 of them in the can, as they say. That's the best way to do it on all of the research I've found on starting this sort of thing, that the best thing to do is get 5 podcasts done. And after you have 5 of them finished, go ahead from that point and start what's the damn word I'm looking for? Start publishing them. That's the word I'm looking for. Publish. There are lots of great rocks in Utah, Elda. There's all kinds of great colorful agates. There are all kinds of great crystals. There are closed down mines. There's gold. Utah is a very mineral rich area. Yeah, the front's broken, but not the camera, right? You need to buy a better cell phone case, man. I can't say enough about getting a good cell phone case. I hate the fact they made the back of iPhones glass. My iPhone, I thought I had a good case on it, and it wasn't. And I finally bought a $45 case, and I've dropped this thing in so many different ways, and it hasn't had any damage yet. But I mean, it's got like 1/8 of an inch going around this thing. 1/8 of an inch of gel padding stuff. Need to scoot stuff over just a hair. There we go. Might want to bring my other... Oh, that was an all right picture. Was thinking I might want to bring my other tripod over here, because this one sort of bounces when I go to take pictures. This is sort of a weak private stockpile. I might have to go and grab another stone real quick. I like these things for everybody to always be happy, man. It's the main thing about these, especially when they say private stock. I definitely like people to always be happy. And for me, private stock is almost anything good that's already showing hints of color, because this spot has been truly amazing for me on that. If it has the dark and the clear agate, only 1 in about 100 don't end up having great color in them. think I'm going to have to go and grab one more piece of color for this pile. Definitely think I'm going to have to grab one more piece of color for this pile. Let me see what's on the screen. Relevant files, Spirit Communication. That is a hell of a long name, my friend. I have no idea about minerals in Ireland. If anybody else has any idea about minerals in Ireland, go ahead and let it be known so that Revelation Files Spirit Communication can know about it. Tim gave me this old S3 that still worked and has been lost once, replaced, found, replaced, mountain, replacement, died, lost again, made replacement work, bang it on a desk, LOL. That's a hell of a cell phone life there, Resort Dog. Nowadays, it's good to have a good smartphone. I mean, especially if you're doing any kind of crap that I'm doing, I need a good smartphone. All right, that's got a nice bit of color showing on it. That's going to carve a nice large stone. I mean, that's a lot of rocks for $100 a fire agate, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's 15 pieces of fire agate in this. It's definitely a fair amount for the $100 in this first box. Oh. Oh, that's not good. Got to move that out of the way. Put it on this chair next to me. I'll bet you if I weigh this box, it's over a pound. I'm going to throw it on a scale and see what it says real quick. Now that I grabbed that one piece, this box seems a bit fat. It's 2/10 under a pound, basically 2 ounces under a pound is what it is. It's pretty close. That's good. It's a good deal. A little bit of padding in between the fire agate. Oh, that's the thing about Texas B. Davis, is there's actually a lot of great rocks in Texas. Most of them are on private ranch land. So a lot of those private ranch land places that you can dig on don't advertise it in your normal rock hounding book or public sphere for sure. A lot of times, in order to find out about those places you can dig in Texas, you need to be a part of a rock hounding group that has been doing it for a long time, because then they have the connections with those ranchers, and then you're able to get out to those ranches and dig. It really is a who you know type of thing right there. And when you're part of a I said rock hounding group, that works too, but a gem and mineral society like the Playground Gem and Mineral Society we have here in Destin, they every year have group digs out at private ranches that you would just not be able to get into otherwise. You wouldn't even know about them. I mean, that's the reality. I've seen some amazing stuff that comes out of Texas, especially petrified wood. I've seen some really great petrified wood that comes out of Texas, but it's not publicly known where this stuff is. I mean, it is, but it's the people that know the people that own the ranches. Yo, Modern Prospector, how you doing, man? Andy asks, can I ask you, did you ever see anything spiritual when you were looking for gems of the earth? Because I know they give off really good energy. Thanks, from Andy. Well, I myself am not a rocks and energy magic type of person. I do believe in energy, just not in the way, like magical way that a lot of other people tend to believe in it. I more believe in like the energy that people give off. You know, like when you walk into a room and you can feel that people are talking about you, or when one person's bad attitude sort of starts to feed into other people having a bad attitude without them really interacting very much, or the one person with the bad attitude even really putting that bad attitude on anybody else. Yet have I ever seen anything spiritual? I mean, it's hard not to say these skies out in these deserts and like places like Texas. I mean, at night, during the day, at sundown, I mean, the skies are just freaking amazing. And it seems like the more deeper into the sticks you get, the more crazy painting looking that the skies become. So sure, it's not something to really, I could even really say no about, because the skies are just so damn beautiful. Oh, dang it. I forgot to take that last picture to let it know that I'd ended that picture set. That'll just have to stay there for right now. It's a good question, though. If I didn't already say hi, Modern Prospector, I'll do it twice. I think I did, though. How you doing, buddy? Zort Zog, Luzalite, Galena, and some stuff called Gimmelonite, but not locations, mindat.org. Are you talking about for Ireland, Resort Dog? Yeah, he is. He's talking about Ireland. Cool, man. It's good you found something. I didn't even think about checking out Mindat. It's telling about that's a good idea. Fish Ed, these boxes should be posted first thing in the morning. I expect to have them up before noon my time, which is like 10 a.m. on the West Coast. But that might not happen. It might be a little bit later tomorrow, but they will definitely be posted tomorrow. That's why I'm trying to get all the pictures taken tonight, so then I can get them all posted tomorrow. Pictures tonight, posting tomorrow. Focus, stupid camera. There we go. These boxes are set up to where if you get one good stone that carves really well, then it makes it worth the whole box. And then you have a whole bunch of other stones to make some money off of. Or keep as your private collection, wherever your passions lay with that. That was a piece that had a whole bunch of saginite in it. It was sort of hard to get the saginite picture up. The way these boxes are going to be is I'm going to have close-ups of all of the pieces that have fire already in them, which is going to be 5 to 6 pieces per box. And then it's going to have another half pound of high grade in it. High grade carving rough that is not showing. Every box will go up for $100. They're all worth it. I wish I had some wheels here so I could window this stuff, because I'd get probably 10 times the amount for it. Yet, unfortunately, I do not have a cabbing machine anymore. So that's just not available to me at the moment. What's the color on this one? There it is. You got to just have a certain angle on it. See how many pieces are in this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pieces in this one. They're all probably going to end up having between like 12 and 15 pieces of fire agate in them. Once you start carving them, you'll definitely be happy with what you get out of it. No question about that. There are no just white pieces of agate in any of them. Every piece of agate is white and brown, because it's that iron-rich agate that really has the fire in it. Don't get me wrong, you can have a piece of agate that's all white on the outside and then has beautiful colors on the inside. That does happen. Although I'm not going to lie, on these boxes, I'm not quite taking as much time to take photos as I have in the previous boxes. I probably should, but I'm also sort of expecting my reputation to carry me a little bit on these ones. Cough, cough, cough. The end of Blue Dream. Happy 420, everybody. I can't even believe I didn't say that. This is the first 420 in well over 20 years that I haven't smoked anything. No usage at all. And I'm telling you, it hurts. It hurts a little bit. It does. It's just a little bit painful. Yeah. I'm jealous. I'm jealous, Resort Dog. Revelation says the reason he asks is because he's heard a lot about a lot of crazy things that have been seen out in the mountains and their earth gems, where their earth gems are, and I've gotten a few crazy spirit pics. Well, I won't argue with your pictures, that's for sure. And I will tell you that when you're out in the desert by yourself and you're not used to being around wildlife and you're not used to seeing eyes at night anytime you turn a flashlight, it can be weird. It can definitely be weird. I have had some experiences where I would think there was something going on, yet with a little bit of investigation, because that's what I do when I'm scared. I go running into the night screaming and yelling, "Come on!" because I don't know how to deal with fear except to charge it head on. Almost every weird experience I thought I was having, I could end up summing up to one type of animal or another. Especially that California desert I was in, where I had spent basically every now and then I would have company at the camp I was at. But for the most part, I was 3 miles from the nearest human when I was going to sleep at night. And I wasn't using fires or anything. I didn't have fires. It was too warm to worry about having a fire. And the experiences I would have almost every time I could sum up to one type of monster, one type of animal or another. A lot of times there were these big lizards that were out at that camp in that area of the mountains that I didn't know about until somebody told me about them. And when they first told me about them, I thought they were crazy because he was talking about lizards that were like bigger than big iguanas. And I was like, yeah, right, man. Like, I mean, he was talking about like half a Komodo dragon, basically. And damned if that dude wasn't right, because I mean, I would see eyes at night in the rocks and stuff like that when I'd turn my flashlight around and such. Yet I still wasn't believing that they were these lizards until one night I was up by the mine late at night, and I worked until probably like 8 o'clock at night carrying buckets back and forth from the camp to the mine, and I had to carry them about a half a mile down a hill, maybe a little bit longer than that. And when I was going back up, I heard a bang a couple of times on a metal drum. And so I went and investigated it. And what I ended up seeing when I got my light on it was a freaking lizard. I mean, and this thing was huge. And I mean, it was like this wide and it was like this long. I mean, it was double the size of any iguana I'd ever seen. It was freaking huge. And that definitely put me on notice that dude was not telling me stories. That was not an old wives' tale. He was saying that they have giant ass lizards in that area of California. Most of this time, when I was seeing eyes, I was thinking like owls and deer and anything else that would move at night, but I wasn't thinking lizards. This message is held. Revelation File says, can I ask you, do you believe in spirits? If so, have a look at my channel. It's crazy, the stuff I get. Yeah, no, I don't really believe in like ghosts, spirits. Like that's not really my bag. I honestly, my personal belief is more in reincarnation than in like, heaven and hell and people trapped in the in-between. And this private stash pile seems a little bit wanting to me. And this has 2 stones in it, but that doesn't matter. I'm going to grab another rock for this one. This one is a good one. It looks like it's probably got some purple underneath that like dark reddish color that's there. There's definitely one of those that's like got great colors that are covered up by the brown on top. Oh, damn it. I did it again, though. No, I didn't do it again. Cool. Let's see. Modern Prospector says they're Gila monsters out there. That must have been what it is a big-ass lizard, I tell you what. Modern Prospector, I see why you said monster. It was sort of on the back of my mind. Because, I mean, when I saw that lizard, I wasn't scared of it because, I mean, but it was surprising as hell. Big lizards that I know, for the most part, don't attack humans. You know what I mean? They're like, whoa, stay away. They don't want to have nothing to do with us. And then Teresa Walker says, kill those kimono dragons. They eat small animals and children. Nah, just keep your kids away from them. You know, like they're just hungry. Nope, I do not ever hear spiritual voices in the mines. I'm trying to get a guest on my channel that actually goes into abandoned mines, and I really like this dude's content. I'm trying to get him to be a guest on the podcast, and we can ask him that question. If he does the podcast, I'll remember it. I've had about 3 people I really expected to like jump on the opportunity of being on a podcast that I did because they have less subscribers than I do on my YouTube channel. And I really think the podcast is going to be bigger than the YouTube channel given a little bit of time. Yet, surprisingly, that is not what's happened. What has happened is mostly they've ignored me. It's like most of them don't want to say no, but they sure as hell ain't said yes. Two, 4, 6, 4, 6, 7. Oh, this was missed in the color ones, huh? Resort Dog says a jeweler was warned away from a canyon in a native tongue. That's because there was a native camping up there in the dark that wanted him to get off his gold claim. I'm definitely one of those people that thinks if you're going to kill nature, then you should be eating it. I mean, killing in self-defense is one thing. Killing everything just because it worries you, that's, in my mind, the wrong way to go. Well, this box is going to have more colorful pieces in it than planned. Some of these ones that came out of the high grade but weren't supposed to have color showing in them definitely have color showing in them. And the majority of the time, bronze is the first color you see. Even if there's greens and purples and reds, more times than not, they're underneath a bronze that is the first color on top. That's why whenever I'm carving through something, say like this piece right here, when I can see there's a dark line of agate and I'm carving through this stuff, anytime I start getting close to the bronze coloring inside of the stone, that's when I start backing off and start being more careful so I don't burn through a great green or a great red or purple or anything like that. But per usual, these boxes are loaded and well worth it. Just ask Margaret. She's my single best customer. Which, if you weren't here earlier, Margaret, I got 20 pounds of Slaughter Mountain I'm thinking about selling all at once for $1,500. Although maybe I don't want to sell it to you because that would stop you from buying a box or two every week. You'd have so much you wouldn't need to do that. Yes, that is true, Margaret. I would have $1,500 at that point. And I'd be a little bit upset that I sold most of my Slaughter Mountain. I only have a few pieces of Slaughter Mountain besides that. Oh, I tell you what, though. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and I found out today that I'm not getting any of the unemployment from the national fund that I'm supposed to be getting. They just flat denied me for everything, regardless of the fact the only reason I'm out of work is COVID, and that I'm supposed to be able to apply even though I haven't worked what would normally be like 12 months or something like that at the same job. I was only at this job for 5 days before they ended up laying me off. But supposedly on the federal level, you're only supposed to have been working like 1 day or 2 days if you're directly laid off because of COVID. And that's what's up with me. But Florida damn denied me. And I tell you what, they make the appeals process almost impossible because they tell you that you need to appeal through their online server. Their online server doesn't want to work right. And you can't find the appeal thing anywhere on their online server, but you can find it on a secondary website to print it off to mail it in. But they don't want to accept the mail right now, obviously. Sorry about that. I had to go and click to let Modern Prospector's words go through. I was literally holding off on posting more stuff for sale in my store because I thought it would affect the $600 that I would possibly get per week, which over a month time would be a bigger average than what I sell it out of my store regularly. But now I'm getting nothing. I think the worst part about their whole unemployment thing going on in Florida right now is they're like, okay, well, you need to go and fill this thing out online. And then you go through this trouble and then it tells you, oh, well, it's not working right now. So call this number. And then you call the number and you go through the number and you go through all the prompts and then it sends you to talk to somebody. And then it immediately when it sends you to talk to somebody, it goes, oh, we're too busy to have you talk to anybody. Fill your thing out online. That's happened to me like 15 freaking times in this process. And it took me like 6 days and well over 20 hours just to get the application filled out the first time. But Florida is one of the biggest, like, corrupt, screw the poor people states in the whole union. I mean, there are corrupt states just for the point of being corrupt and so they can get rich. But Florida is one of those, like, put their boot on the neck of the poor man and hold them down as much as possible. I mean, that's the only reason that I can think of that they have it to where, since it's 420, this is a great conversation. This is the only place that I know of that has a possession charge license suspension, meaning that if you're walking down the street and for some reason a cop decides to harass you and he goes through your pockets and he finds a roach in your pockets, finds any sort of pot, any marijuana at all inside your pockets, and they charge you with a possession charge, you lose your driver's license for 2 years. Now, you're driving down the street, you're drunk as shit, you run over a mailbox, you get pulled over, you get a DUI. It's your first DUI, you lose your driver's license for 6 months. What kind of bullshit sense does that make? It makes no freaking sense at all that marijuana, not even being near a car, you lose your license for 2 years with a possession charge, yet you can be shit-faced and you lose your license for 6 months on a DUI. What the hell? That's just about keeping poor people down is what it is, because when it comes to poor neighborhoods, marijuana is the number one drug. I mean, it really is the number one choice of inebriation. Just like when you go to really rich neighborhoods, cocaine is the number one choice of inebriation. Poor people do way less coke than rich people. In my professional opinion. Yeah, I would have done that too, Modern Prospector. But believe it or not, in a lot of states, that's illegal. You can get in massive trouble for that. That's still considered poaching in a lot of states. See, well, that's good for you then, Misty. $800 a week is, that's definitely survivable. Hell, you can pay your rent with that. Nothing is difficult. Nothing sucks. Nothing's like a big old screw you, man. And the fact there's just like nobody to talk to, or they don't just make it easy for me to like upload my paycheck stubs. I think I'm just gonna have to find a way to fax this paperwork in, because I can't find it anywhere on their website, and it feels like it's just to make you chase your tail and make you give up, is exactly what it's starting to feel like to me, to tell you the truth. Oh, I see a purple and a blue in this big ass rock, but it's really hard to get a picture of. Hell, the green's really hard to get a picture of. That is a big ass fire agate or 3 that's going to be carved out of that one, that's for sure. What is the deal with this tiny little one? I'm gonna go grab another rock. It's like every package I have like 3, 6. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to go grab another one. We'll see how these other ones go. I knew I got this one to flash for me. I specifically remember this stone. Oh, there it is. That corner. All right, I got to grab one extra stone. Oh, that sucks, Modern Prospector. Oh, that's awesome, Modern Prospector. They brought you a special tag. That's how you do it. Yeah, I agree with you on that meth, Davis. Oh, there's one winking. That shot. I think this one's actually going to carve a couple of different stones. All right, this is another 15. Batch of 15. Sometimes the problem with these Etsy listings is that you can only post 10 pictures per sale. Sort of pain in the butt sometimes. Yeah, anybody you know that's on Adderall, Margaret, is also on meth. It's the same damn thing. If you look at the bottle of Adderall, it says amphetamine salts on it. My, at some point, going to be ex-wife, when she was visiting me when I was locked up, she got super skinny and was acting all weird and had all these crazy ass stories of unbelievable crap that was happening to her. And then I ended up getting her to tell me, oh, yeah, well, I got an Adderall prescription. I'm like, well, that's fucking meth. You need to get off that shit if you're going to be with me. And she was like, no, it's my doctor prescribed it. I can have this. And I literally kicked her out of the visitation at the prison. Like, everybody thought I was dumb as hell. When I got back, everybody was talking about it on the yard. Because, I mean, we got into it, and I was basically stood up and screaming at her, and the COs were talking about putting me in the hole if I didn't quiet down, and I was telling her to get the hell out and all that sort of stuff. When I was 16, my uncle introduced me to methamphetamines in his backyard right after I'd gotten out of Job Corps. Maybe I was 17. I was either 16 or 17. And before that, I had been against every single white drug that was out there. I was all about mushrooms and LSD and pot. Like, I loved all that stuff. I thought all that stuff was like stuff that wasn't necessarily bad for you unless you had, like, you know, undiagnosed schizophrenia or something like that, because that stuff will totally like push that forward if it's undiagnosed. But I tell you what, The first time he gave me that stuff and introduced me to it, I immediately ran over to the weight bench and started pumping weights really hard. And then, like everything else, when I was a teenager, I have this good/bad luck. When I met somebody that had something to do with some drug, I didn't just end up staying to know that person. I would end up finding out about the person that was like making the drug, that I could get it from super duper cheap. And that's what happened with meth too. I mean, it happened to me with coke not too long after that. But when he introduced me to that meth and I liked it in the beginning, I ended up meeting a guy that I could get it from. I could get Teeners and 8-balls for a third of the price of what everybody else was paying, my aunts, my uncles. So it was only like a couple of weeks from me doing my first line with my uncle to me selling my uncle Teeners and making money off of him and stuff like that. But like everything else too, I ran really hard, really fast. And within a year, I went from loving meth to anytime I would do a line of it, I would end up out in the yard puking everywhere. Like my body recognized it as a poison. I wasn't able to do it anymore. And that's not the last time that's happened. I've had a few times in my life that my body starts to not recognize something as it's supposed to be a drug that's fun, or it's supposed to be something that I want to do, but I do it thinking I want to do it. And then my body completely rejects it. And I'm literally feel like I'm being killed because I'm getting so sick. It's not like I did a drug. It's like I did poison. And that's exactly what happened to me with meth. And that was how I got off the meth. And I only did it for like a year, which is a good thing. Cause I mean, I was a serious piece of shit on that drug. It brought the worst person out of me, the worst person I could possibly be. I mean, I was such a horrible human being at that point in time. I was doing so much of this stuff that I was working a job roofing houses, and I was making like $15 an hour as a teenager, and I was making great money, and I was spending all of it on partying with that dope and with girls and stuff like that. And all that money was gone by the time rent rolled around. And so my stupid ass decided to get a BB gun and go and try and rob a corner store to get money to pay my rent. And I mean, I'm not that fucking guy. I've never been that guy, like ever in my whole life. But with that shit, I became that fucking piece of shit guy. And it's definitely one of the worst times in my life where I was just the worst human being I could possibly be. And I'm really glad that my body started rejecting that stuff, because I really needed to get away from it. Because in reality, it's one of those types of things that suits my personality. Because where everybody else gets all hyped up, like, and they're like nonstop antsy, I get more calmed and mellow because I'm already a hyperactive person. I mean, I've had people tell me I'm ADHD, and I don't think I have that much of a problem focusing, because that's the hyperactive attention deficit. I don't think I have the attention deficit. But that stuff is definitely evil. I would never date anybody that was even doing prescription Adderall. I can't stand that stuff at all. I think it's bad news for everybody on the planet. Yeah, definitely stay away from that stuff. It's bad stuff. I'm anti all hard drugs. That's for sure. I like psychedelics and love drugs, but I probably wouldn't even do any of them anymore. Especially not at this point in my life. I'd have to have like a really good reason and be in like a really good place. Like the first Bonnaroo I went to, which was the second Bonnaroo, where it was Bob Dylan and freaking Dave Matthews headlining. That was the right place to do psychedelics. Oh, that one's showing color in it. This is going to be a really good box. Box number 44 is going to be a really good box for anybody who's interested in buying this stuff when it goes up for sale tomorrow. One more time. Box 44 has a lot of show in it. Shit, there's another one that's showing. Yep, box 44 is a motherfucker. Sometimes you just hit on one of them that even but when you were packing it, you didn't think it was going to be that good. And you go start taking close-ups of everything, and you get a way better box than you expected. That's 44. And D's not in here yet. Nobody's seen D, has you? D, are you here?
Hello.
Hey, girl, I just wanted to let you know that I'm live right now. We've been live for the last few minutes, so just in case you missed it, I didn't want you to totally miss it and not have the opportunity to say hi to everybody.
Okay, I'll be on in just a few.
Okay.
Oh, hang on. This is Scott.
Hi. Hey, Scott, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I need you to settle an argument that we're having.
Okay, what's your argument, Scott?
Is your name Calico or Calico?
Oh, that's funny because the way I say it is Calico, but the way it's phonetically spelled is Calico. So you're both right. I hate to tell you. There's no winner on that one. It's a tie.
Okay, I'll be on in a few.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.
Damn, and he thought he was going to be able to one-up Mom on that one, too. Shoot. That's funny. Yeah, Dee's a really good person. We have some long conversations every now and then. When I'm feeling like crap and feeling like the world just keeps kicking me in the balls, I can totally call her, and she's interested, and she has a shoulder to lean on. Most of my really old school friends are like, damn, man, you got so much drama all the time. I'm like, yeah, my great aunt's right. I'm a fucking drama queen, huh? Modern Prospect, you're absolutely right about that. Something about rock hounding brings people in that have a troubled past. That is very true. I mean, I've seen lots of people that are into rock hounding that haven't had a troubled past. Yet it's very true that there are a fair amount of people that have a troubled past. And just to be real, when it comes to rock hounding and the community on a whole can be a fickle bitch like I've never seen before. Like I have rarely seen a community in general that will know so little about people and pretend like they know so much. And I'm not just talking about with me. I'm talking about like I've heard the stuff that other people will say about people they don't know and talk about them from secondhand stories that they heard from others as if they do know these people. And they'll be talking about people I know. So it's rarely you will find a more fickle bitch than the rock hounding community. I tend to have a really good community here on my channel. I mean, every now and then we get some of those seriously selfish ones, and then I have had my channel ruin some dig spots that I have posted up. So now it's definitely become one of those things to where when I'm back out making videos again, it's going to be some videos are just going to be about the stuff that's being found and not that you can find it. That's just going to be the way it is here soon. Hey, D. Oh, Jesus, that's horrible, Mrs. Hilber. Yolanda. Yeah, Yolanda, that's how you say that. Sorry, I read bad. There's definitely going to end up being a couple of different stones. There's a big ass crack running through it, but I have to fix this phone. It's not tight enough. Margaret, rock hounders are a cool group of folks until they're not, right? Isn't that the way it is with everybody though? I've had people think I'm just always a nice guy, and that's not real. Like the moment I think you're like taking advantage or being manipulative or overstepping, I can go from being the nicest guy you ever thought you meant to being a fucking super asshole. I mean, I've literally had people go, I thought you were so cool. Now I can't stand you. Like I've had people say that to my face over scenarios. But typically I thought they were in the wrong, or I thought they were overstepping, or they were pushing a situation that they shouldn't be. And then I fucking lose my shit. I've also had people I'm digging with where I'm giving them instructions and they think they're following the instructions and they're not following the instructions. And after like the 10th time, I don't say it nicely anymore. And I don't mean to be an asshole, but I do. I have the big time asshole genetic gene. It's definitely a genetic thing. My whole family has that ability. Although half my family is legitimately psychotic, crazy. I shouldn't say half. I should say everybody in the generation before me has nothing to do with me or my family. None of them. I don't know what CPTSD is, but I definitely have PTSD. Damn, Modern Prospector, you can get a lot of drugs for all those disorders. Did I not take a picture in the beginning of this set? Shit, I didn't. Oh well, I'll catch it. Okay, at least 44 I did. I have a method to how I make sure when I'm listing these photos on Etsy, that I keep everything, track of everything, because one of the first times I did a sale like this, I lost track of the stones that were in the boxes, and I caught it when I was shipping one of them. I realized that what was in that box couldn't have been what was in the listing, and I was going to ship the wrong thing to somebody if I didn't fix it. And ever since then, I came up with this method where I number the boxes, and then I put a photo of the box at the beginning and the end of the photos of the stones. And that way it's, the photos that are in between each of the two photos for each box is what's in that. And I've never had that problem again. Because when I found out I did that, I thought it was only in 2 boxes. And then I opened up every box that I had done, and I ended up having to redo like 5 boxes. I had to retake pictures and re-edit the listings because I had the wrong pictures with the wrong numbers. Nobody likes receiving the one they didn't order. You know what I mean? Like, you ordered this one because you went through all the pictures of all the stones and you watched the video and you really wanted this one, and then you get one that's not that one, and that'll piss somebody off. Like, I like happy customers, damn it. No likey bad customers or angry customers. Not bad customers. I've only had a couple of bad customers. Oh yeah, for the stuff that my stepdad did to me, dude, I can get almost any kind of pill I want from a psychiatrist. I can get Klonopin, I can get Xanax, I can get Trazodone, I can get lithium. Like, I can get pills that will just make me drool on myself all day. Like, the day flies by and I can sleep. Could sleep like 16, 17 hours in a day on that shit. Makes me stupid as hell. But I tell you what, man, the crap that dude did to me is insane. Like, some of the stuff is just crazy insane. Shit. One of the stones didn't make it into that last box. That dude did a lot of really horrible stuff to me, yet at the same time, I'm always sort of thankful for all the crap he did to me. I was never sexually abused. Like, that's sort of like, in my mind, the worst that can happen. Although I've been on the verge of what you would consider the worst that could happen. But, I mean, he was a horrible monster. At the same time, I had babysitters that were freaking weird as hell. Once had a lady that, when I was put into foster care after he died by my mother, me and my sister were, and this foster care lady would not let me take a bath or a shower on my own. She had to sponge bathe me. She was like 90. I mean, she was elderly, and I was like 12, and I had to stand in a cold fucking bathtub butt naked and let this lady fucking soap me up and rinse me down. And I mean, it's fucking gross. She didn't play with me or anything, but she totally had me butt ass naked in there taking a sponge bath. She's trying to conserve water. Because it must have been like a war back in the war days when she was young. You know what I mean? Wasting water was a no-no. uh, yeah, redheads run in my great aunt's family too. Almost all the kids they're having out of their grandkids are all redheads. Yeah, see, a lot of times what Dee's talking about is I made a comment on one of her pictures that she'd posted online, and it had some colors poking out, but it had a lot of brown bitroidal agate in it, fire agate. And a lot of times when you're just seeing a hint of color at a certain angle, it's because that certain spot on that brown agate is thinner, and you're actually seeing the color that's underneath that brown line. So if you can remove more of the brown, more of that color will start to pop out. And I mean, the main trick is, even if it's only in one area, when you have really good color popping out in that one area, then carve on the rest of the brown in small circles and avoid that one area that has the really good color already popping out. Because I've had pieces where it's just a little strip of super bright green, and I'm like, the whole stone, it'll pop out on the next layer. And then I get really bright green everywhere except for that little strip that I took off first. So but yep, it's like they say, you got to risk it for the biscuit. You want the good stuff, you're just going to have to learn to go for it and learn when not to go for it. And that's just the way it is with this fire agate game, man. And sometimes you're going to lose some pieces, and sometimes you're going to make some mistakes, and that's just going to be the way it is to have really great fire agate. You're just going to have some of those mistakes and lose some color every now and then. And then every now and then you're going to pull out a way better stone that you thought was in there. Probably more than every now and then, especially with you when you got the type of stuff she has and the type of stuff I sell. Remember, too, it does not take a big stone to make a beautiful ring stone. Like, it does not take a big stone at all. One thing we tend to forget when we have rocks that are this size is that your typical ring stone is like a carrot. You know, your typical ring stone for most gems is not 12 carats. Like, yeah, Klonopin is almost like smoking pot, but more powerful, more sleepy. But it's almost the same thing. Like it has such a very similar effect on me, at least. I've been prescribed Klonopin before. Once again, though, I sleep too much on that stuff. Gotta remember, I can only put 10 pictures in, so sometimes I need to. Pack more stones in per picture. Oh man, some of these are a little bit crappy. I gotta grab a different stone. Oh, that looks like a really good one. Yeah, that's a really good one. It was like a small handful of those stones that I had grabbed out of that bucket for this pile right here. Did not have the look of having great color in them. Like there were just too many of them that looked like they might not have great color in them. Like a couple here and there out of that look like they might not have great color in them. Okay, not a big deal. But then when you have like 5 out of the half pound that look like that, that's not okay. Had to fix that. I want you to get your money's worth when you buy them and come back for more. I need somebody to start competing with Margaret. And now that I'm getting this this podcast off the ground, I'm really, really stoked about who my first interview is going to be tomorrow. It's actually like one of the people that I was hesitant to think they were going to be willing to do it when I first had this idea. And I'm really, really excited. And you guys are going to be really stoked about having it too. Now, if only I could get 4 other people to agree real fast. Although, I think I have somebody else in mind that I can take for number 2 or number 3. My one buddy that works for the Forestry Service that we did a 45-minute trial run that ended up being amazing, and I wanted to post it because it was so great. He's hesitant to do it again. He's avoiding the shit. And the first one we did was so good, and he had such great information in it. I've got to get him to do it again, damn it. Because like nobody knows him. He's not well known or anything, but his information is fantastic. He's a friend of mine that I met through this channel. 47 shit. I picked the wrong box up. Did I put it at the beginning? Don't tell me I missed it at the beginning again. Shit. I did miss my picture, though, my opening picture of the box again. That's twice. Oh, well. Pay more attention. It's such a good conversation, man. It was totally listenable the whole time. Like there was great information. He had fantastic information in there. Four. Not right. 5. Oh, well, it looks like this one's going in. Oh. Hunching over, I'm starting to get a lower backache. Oh, you know what you can also do if you're interested in any of this stuff and you don't already follow my Etsy stores, you can go to my Etsy store. Link is in the description of this video and almost all the other videos I post. And you can go to the Etsy store and you can follow the Etsy store. And then every time I'm posting something, then it'll give you a notification. Yeah, I definitely see a little wink in there. Damn near impossible to get on the screen, though. Well, that one's not, though. A lot more colors showing up in some of these than I originally expected. But it doesn't matter. They're all meant to be really great lots. This is a huge piece of agate. Oh, the back. But this is halfway. This is 8 of 15 boxes. Surprised I've kept 18 of you in here this long. This can't be any more exciting than carving fire agate like that one. I'm going to hold on to his statement about this is as exciting as watching paint dry for the rest of my life, apparently. But you know why? Is because I absolutely have to agree with him in one sense, is that if you're not into carving fire agate, if you're not ever going to try it, it has to be super boring to watch. Like, I mean, it just has to be super boring to watch. And at the same time, if you're somebody that's tried carving fire agate and you know how crazy it can make you, it's not that boring to watch, because any tip you can pick up to make you better and not screw it up or make you faster at getting the stuff done is like, it's like worth its weight in gold when it comes to carving fire agate. And that's the other thing I've realized too, is that if you really want to carve fire agate, you're going to learn to be more patient to get great fire agate out of the piece that you're carving, or you're going to quit carving fire agate. Like, you can't have it both ways. You either have to become really patient to get really good at it. Damn it, I did it again. I missed one. Or you just got to not do it. simple fact is that learning an art form takes patience. And it doesn't matter what kind of art form it is. If you're going to be great at any sort of art form, you have to be patient at learning that art form. Nobody amazing at anything learns it overnight. Seven. Closest cop is about an hour and a half away if they speed. That's true, Resort Dog. You can kill somebody and bury the body before the cops can show up if the person you're about to kill calls them 1 second before you shoot him in the face. See ya, Resort Dog. Does that mean you're going to bed, Resort Dog? I might have missed that, buddy. Yes, like Margaret said, Yolanda, check out the Chasing Fire series. That'll definitely give you lots of insight into carving fire agate. That is an absolute fact. That's what that series is about. I need to go back and renumber a bunch of my videos so they line up properly, because I forgot what episode I was on when I started recording them again. So some of them don't say like Chasing Fire episode 12, even though there's a whole bunch of them and even some live streams in the listing. The first 7 episodes teach you the basics that you need to know, how colors typically run in fire agate, how to build yourself a carving station, general safety, the types of tools that you need. And if you plan on really carving fire agate and getting the proper tools to do it, expect to spend a minimum of $400 on that. I think I'm going to get these last 3 boxes in and I'm going to pack it in. Do the last 5 first thing in the morning. Last 6 first thing in the morning. Nine. Oh wait, that's right. No, it'll be last 3 in the morning. I knew something was wrong. My counting was off. I tell you what, if you ever end up out digging fire agate with me out at a mine, you'll realize what a good deal these boxes are. Because pulling this stuff out of the ground is a giant pain in the ass. Finding this stuff on the ground is a giant pain in the ass. You will spend more money on trying to get out to the location where your fire agate is supposed to be at than you will on these boxes right here. So I can't say enough about the value is definitely here. Oh, wow, there's great colors showing up in that corner. That's awesome, D. Yeah, the locale that you got your fire agate from is one of the best locales in the country. It's top 3. So, I mean, like I said, every now and then you're going to ruin a stone, but a lot of times it's better to try and bring out the best you can in a stone, especially when you're first learning how to carve, than it is to stop with a mediocre stone. Because a lot of us are just tempted to be like, okay, I can see some color. Now I'm going to quit. But the reality is that, I know you're not planning on selling your stones, but if you were planning on selling your stones, the mediocre stones sell for pennies and the amazing stones sell for hundreds of dollars. And I mean, that's literally how it is in fire agate. I mean, but that's like anything else. You know, a sapphire sells for thousands of dollars a carat if it's a top grade sapphire. A piece of corundum sells for pennies a carat. I mean, the only difference between a sapphire and a piece of corundum is the gem quality of it. That's it. I mean, most fire agate that does not actually have any color in it, if there's no color in it, it's really just a piece of carnelian. But the moment you get that bronze, just the moment you get that bronze, reflective bronze, that's a piece of fire agate. And then from there, it just gets better and better and better. But if it doesn't at least have that reflective bronze in it, I don't care if it came from a fire agate location or not. It's not fire agate. It's can be rough, but if it's carved and you did not find color in it, then it's not fire agate. It's more than likely a piece of carnelian. It's a reddish, brownish, blackish agate, which is not bad. It's just what it is. And I sort of have a little bit of a attitude about that sort of stuff because there's so many times where I've seen people selling stuff that obviously doesn't have any color at all in it and no potential of color, and they're selling it online as fire agate. Some of these people have recently stopped because, I mean, there were some energy healers and stuff like that on eBay that were selling straight garbage as if it was fire agate, and it was I mean, it was fine agate, but it was not fire agate. It did not come from a fire agate location. It wasn't even cheap rough fire agate. It was just not fire agate. They were lying about it. As a fact, I know that. Yep. D posts more on my damn Facebook page than I do. I'm so bad at my social media profile. I really am. I could really use to get better at that. This one's got some honkers in it. Gotta find it with my naked eye first and then use the camera. Well, I know it. This is one of those pieces where I know it's in there. I just can't seem to get it to show. Still a private collection piece. Got a huge dog-tooth calcite on it. Yeah. I think I need another one that shows some color in that group right there. Should have found a better one, but it was difficult. Maybe one of these will wink really good at me. No, well, it doesn't matter. They're not windowed. Because if they were windowed, I could get much more. Nice windowed stone. Each one of these go for $20 a piece. Easy if I had a good window on them. But windowing stones with hand tools is just a giant pain in the ass. I really need cabbing machine with a 325, an 80, and a 600 hard wheel on them. And then that's good to make windows with. I actually have a old Loratone up here in pieces, but it needs a motor and I need to build a hood for it. I have one little aluminum hood. It would need a hood to be built. It would need a motor. It needs new bearings. And then I need those 3 wheels because all the wheels I have are soft Nova wheels. I don't have any of the hard wheels. Is it 11 yet? What time is it? 10:38. Good. Good, because it takes me at least an hour of reading to get tired enough to be able to sleep. 1, 2, 3. That's 4 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So I guess after this, I'll have 4 more boxes to do. Yeah, because I'll have done 8 and 3 is 11. So yeah, I'll have done 11. That makes sense. So tomorrow I'll have 4 more boxes to do, and then I'll post these things up for sale. I expect them to be up before noon my time, which would be 2 p.m. on the west. 10 a.m. on the West Coast. This one had colors poking out all over it. Oh, there they are. Yep, this is a giant honker that has all kinds of colors on the back side of it, which means the whole inside should be great too. Doesn't always turn out that way, but that's what you expect. This is a good box. Got a couple of big ones with color already showing on them. Box 50. I believe box 50 is a very good box. I mean, all the boxes are good boxes. Just some boxes are better than others. My uncle used to say that about women. Oh, that's a shitty stone right there, though. Oh, I got 2 crappy stones I got to replace. These are really good ones. $50 ends up having a lot of very large stones in it. Is this one even going to fit? Yep, it fits. Alrighty. 4 more boxes for the AM. My back is thanking me for that decision. All right. So 4 more boxes to do in the AM, and then I have 8 more I can do that are already ready to be made up. The boxes are ready. Nothing else is ready. And as I told you, these lights right here for $22 at Lowe's are really worth the money for taking pictures, doing video, looking at your fire agate, carving. Those lights are well worth the $22 because of the clip-on and move them wherever you want and the long gooseneck, and they're really worth the money. But I lost about 8 of you. We stayed pretty steady at about 17 to 19 people tonight, which is really surprising to me considering that this is what you guys are watching. It's pretty much me stocking boxes and talking schmack while everybody else is sitting there and typing and stuff. So I really appreciate once again the community we have, because that's why most of you are here right now. It's not just to watch me stack boxes, it's to communicate with each other and have fun having conversations with each other through text and stuff like that. And I really appreciate that. I really appreciate the awesome community that we have on this channel, and that it might be small when it comes to these live streams, but it's small and good, you know, unlike a lot of other communities that are large and toxic. And toxic is such a great word. Yeah, right. Yeah, if you buy one of my boxes, like what Margaret's talking about, it's sort of like a treasure hunt because you get all these crinkly papers on them. The best packaging material you can use for stuff like this. And when you buy a big box, you can get a big box of this stuff for $25 on Amazon. And it's totally recyclable. And you can get it colored if you want to. Totally recyclable. Totally good padding. And if you have little rocks hidden in front of the inside of it, like she said, it's sort of like a treasure hunt. I always recommend that you don't just dig through the stuff, you dump it out on a table, because there's always a small one in there that you might miss. And a lot of times small pieces end up having great fire in them. And once again, it does not take a big stone to make a nice ring stone. You can have very small, beautiful ring stone that people very much enjoy. Hey, Anita, you made it just for the end. You're here for me to do a sign off. Done working for the moment. I have about 40 pounds worth of cabbing rough I need to post at some point. Yeah, I definitely try to make sure that you guys get good stuff. I'm big on making sure that the people that are purchasing from me have the opportunity to make that money back. It's something I learned when I was a young teenager on the streets selling pot for a living, is that, you know, if you have the best deal around, then people will keep coming back to you and they will avoid dealing with other people. That was something I learned when I was on the streets. I would literally have people that they would have other hustlers that were coming up trying to offer them stuff like, nope, I'm going to him. Just leave me alone, because they knew what they were going to get with me. And it was going to be good. It was going to be quality and quantity. So I try to cover both of them. And sometimes as like with the no-show high grade fire agate rough that I'm selling by the pound, the price is comparable to the price of what you would pay in a blind sale on eBay. Yet you're definitely going to carve better fire agate out of my $50 that you spend than you would if you were to spend $50 at those guys on eBay. That doesn't surprise me, Modern Prospector. That happens sometimes. At the same time, with some of the larger ones, we can be scared to carve deeper. You know, and Modern Prospector, you got the boxes that was completely uncleaned. Like they had matrix still on them. They were boxes that were like loaded to the brim, a whole bunch of rocks inside of them. But there was still lots of pieces that had lots of matrix. Almost all these pieces, 90% of the matrix has been removed. I still think that those, like the boxes, it's my belief, and I could be wrong, but it's my belief that the boxes that I was selling when I was out at the mine and the first boxes I was doing when I was out at this place that were uncleaned, that, you know, had matrix, and the $100 boxes were stuff that they had to be the best deal. And also that with them not being cleaned the way they are now, you had the biggest potential of finding something that would be so dramatic I wouldn't even known it was there. Because I mean, I'm like everybody else. If I have something that's like super, super amazing, it's hard to let go of it. Like, you know, it's not easy to sell something like that cheap. You know what I mean? Let me, I'm going to move this camera real quick. If it goes off, it's all right. It's just black because it'll be fixed in just a second. I'm going to show you guys something real fast. These are the stones that I have worked on previously, way before now. They were put away, unfinished. And next time I'm live streaming, I expect to be carving on these. I need to put my mic in its holder. Oh, shit. No, that one just got popped off its dop. That's good. I'll have to super glue it. But this stone has been a strange one. You can see how they're right underneath that brown, and at certain angles you can catch a purple with a yellow painted over it and a blue, and they're all sort of on the exact same level. Yet they're definitely buried inside of that brown. From a distance, this stone doesn't have much going on it. Yet when you get it at just the right angle, it has the rainbow colors all on the same level. This one's sort of been a pain in the ass when I first started carving it. I'm going to work this one on a live stream. And then there we go. Booyaka! Blah, blah. Now that's $100 a carat stone right there when it's finished. It's not finished yet, but I'm going to finish carving this one while live streaming. This is one that I'm hoping I get finished, and it's as bright as you can see at certain angles all over it. I see better now than when I was first carving this one. And the green is underneath the purple and the blue. And if I can get the whole stone to stand out like this, this one is definitely going to be, you know, probably about $1,000. It's probably what I would be willing to sell that one for once it's done, especially if I pull out all that purple at all angles. It still has some brown covering it in some of the areas. That's why it's hard to get it to show at you. Like that area over here, it still has some of the brown on it. But that color is like, holy crap. Like that's some amazing color right there. And then here's another one that does the same thing. Oh, I know right where the camera is. I need to quit trying to adjust it in on the screen because I know where the lens of the camera is. See, now that purple is covered by the brown that's right there. That brown is, there's purple underneath that. And this stone is a really awesome stone. You can really see the purple shining right in that edge. And then over here, it still has brown covering it. So it needs to be carved a bit better. But the thing about this stone is I believe if I were to cut it right there, that I would get another blue stone. Focus for me, camera. Can you see that green? Can you see that blue right in that bottom corner? So this stone's either going to be one of two things. It's either going to be a double stone with a blue on the bottom and a purple green on top, or it's going to be two stones. Not really sure yet. Uh-oh. There we go. So, those are some of my live stream plans for you guys, is some stuff that's like, holy crap. These are some of the only stones I saved back from my Slaughter Mountain 1 minute fire agate auctions that I was doing like a year ago, maybe even longer than a year ago. There's only, I only saved back a couple of stones for myself, and these are two of them. And now looking at these, there's a lot of purple and blue stones I wish I wouldn't have sold back then. My phone went dead and I might die, and it might die. Margaret, gag me in that site, please. This group is cool. We're glad to have you, Yolanda. But gag me in this site. I don't know what you meant to say. What was gag? It wasn't supposed to mean gag. It was supposed to mean something else. Like, yeah, that was the cord on the camera. That was for me moving the camera. It was the cord on the camera. It wasn't anything to do with the live stream or anything like that. But that's what you guys have to look forward to soon when it comes to me carving, is I'm going to be finishing these off and using a 600 to finish bringing out the purples that happen to be in here, the purples and the greens. And a reminder on why this box over here of, oh yeah, that's way loose. Why that box right there of 20.5 pounds of Slaughter Mountain fire agate, where almost every single piece in it is already showing some form of color, is well worth $1,500. I mean, I know it's so worth it that I almost don't want to sell it. I'd almost wait until I can have a machine to window it with. Yet I'm in one of those situations again, man. I stay in those situations, it seems like. Hate to sell it, but I might need to. Might just have to. So if one of you guys is interested in it, and you really want to make the purchase, and you're willing to pay $1,500, which is like $700 off what it should sell for, with color showing, that stuff should sell for $120 a pound. Yeah, for that amount, Margaret, I would seriously sell it as one lot. I know it has its amount of stupidity to it, but I'm big on making it worth people's while. That's how you sell things. As you can tell, there are some stones like what somebody was talking about, the sunstones. There are some stones that I don't make it worth people's while, and so they don't move fast. Like, I think I'd have to drop my sunstones about 50%, and then they would move fast. Yet for me, getting out to the sunstone mine is more difficult than getting out to the fire agate mines. It just is, and in all honesty, it costs me more because I have rights to fire agate mines that I don't have to sunstone mines. I don't have rights to sunstone mines I just have a friend that owns one, but he's not such a friend that he's like, yeah, dude, go dig for free. He's like such a friend that I'll like buy 5 days at $200. And I'll be like, dude, I only have $100 left. Can I get one more day at that spot for $100? He'll be like, for you? Yeah. Like, well, Margaret, I say, do it. Selling it to you for $1,500 would feel better to me than selling it to somebody I don't know for $1,500. Like I know it's going to a good home. It's going to one of my best customers. It hurts less. I really don't want to, but I really need to right now. I spent a bunch of the money that I had saved up on stuff that was needed, on paying bills at this household, so it doesn't seem like I'm a freeloader. And I have to change my cell phone carrier because of some drama between me and my ex-wife, because I've still been on her cell phone plan. And recently, because of an argument we had, she said, well, you can't come over on your son's birthday now because you're an asshole. And I was right about what I was saying, so screw her. And she also was like, and by the way, now you need to make sure you get that cell phone and that number on a different carrier because I'm turning it off 2 days before your birthday. So, but damn, if I'm going to say I'm wrong or apologize when I'm right, that shit's not happening. Like, she's wrong. She shouldn't be endangering my children like that. And if it was somebody else that was endangering my kids with the way she was endangering my kids, I'd beat their ass happily. Like, I'd let somebody record while I was doing it. Like, I would take that charge. I got a thing that's in the way. I can't read what people are saying. Modern prospector. He's like, do it, Margaret, do it. He's the he's the cheerleader for you to do things you probably shouldn't, because it's about affording things too. You want to make sure you can pay your rent. Like, yeah, the resale value is there. These stones, these two stones that had that dramatic purple in them, they didn't start being purple when they were like this. The first color that was in those stones was bronze. Like, I mean, that's the great thing about Slaughter Mountain. One of the other great things about Slaughter Mountain in general is they are very well known for having thick color bars. And I haven't personally carved enough rough Slaughter Mountain yet. It's in that bucket to verify how much thicker the color bars are than, say, Opal Hill, California. But I do know that the colors from Opal Hill are just as good as anywhere else, as like you've seen with that necklace that I carved. That's an Opal Hill piece. So being that I have hundreds of pounds of Opal Hill and not hundreds of pounds of Slaughter Mountain, it's not like I'm giving up the last of what I have of anything. Like, I still have plenty of fire agate. She just does stupid shit, man. Look, the thing that lit this whole thing up is my son was telling me about this dude that he was going to and he got an adjustment from. And I know this guy that he got in trouble for giving people massages when he wasn't a licensed massage therapist. And my wife some years ago was going to him and told me about how he was adjusting her neck and her back. And I was getting pissed off about it when she was doing it, because he's not a licensed chiropractor, which means if he hurts her, if he pinches a nerve, if he messes up a disc, if he breaks something on her doing chiropractic work when he's not a licensed chiropractor, she has no recourse legally. There's no insurance for that. Like, if he does that and she allowed it and he's not licensed to do it, his policy won't cover if she gets hurt. So that's what pissed me off so bad back in the day. And then when my youngest son told me that this guy was adjusting his back, I lost my shit. Like I'm gonna break this dude in half. Like I'm gonna hurt this guy. Like to me, it's a whole whoops. It's a problem of the potential that could go wrong, not if something has gone wrong now. It doesn't matter to me that something's gone wrong now. It's the problem with if it did go wrong. Like, so that's what the whole thing was over. And she's like, you know, I'm just being an asshole. Well, I think she's just being stupid. Yes, I agree. Slaughter Mountain Fire Agate is amazing, but so is my Opal Hill stuff. Duh. So that's what that whole disagreement was about. And me coming, I mean, I legitimately, I came unglued about it. It wasn't like a small disagreement. It was like, what the hell is wrong with your brain? Like, how do you not understand this is a problem? That's what that was all like. I was not nice. And I don't care about it. Like I'm right, and she needs to get it through her thick freaking skull that dude should not be doing that stuff on my children. Yeah, that's how I feel about it, Margaret. That's how I was fucking pissed, man. Lost it. But she, of course, just tried lying about it. Yep, I agree, Modern Prospector. I understand all of this stuff. That's why I'm so freaking pissed. I just can't believe that somebody that's supposed to know as much as she does is not taking any of this stuff seriously. Like, she doesn't. She doesn't. Yeah, I tell you the truth, I shouldn't even talk about it no more because it just makes me frustrated for no reason at all, and I can't do anything about it. All I can do is explain to my kids, which that's what I did. I explained to him, and I was like, look, man, here's why you can't let that dude do that stuff to you. And he was like, really? He's not a chiropractor? And I'm like, fuck no, he's not. And I explained the whole situation to him, and I told him why it's not okay for that dude to be doing that work on him. And he's 14 now. He turned 14 today. And yesterday he turned 14. And I think he understands. And I don't think that he will be willing to have that guy adjust him in that way. I mean, the dude is licensed for reflexology and massage therapy. Then he should just stick to what he's licensed for. When I was a kid, my dad said I didn't have a back. You had one of those dads that was like, you're a pussy. Like, grow a backbone, son. Like, have any of you seen the movie Honey Boy? Honey Boy is on Amazon Prime. It is a personal life story of Shia LaBeouf. And Shia LaBeouf was the first young guy that was in the original Transformers movies. He was in the movie called Holes. He's been one of my favorite actors for a long time. You could see the art in the kid when he was just a kid. And yes, it is he wrote the story Honey Boy, which is basically he's in it. He plays his father in it, and he has a young actor that plays him, and it's about the stuff that his father put him through. And his father did put him through some stuff, and his father introduced him to some bad stuff, and his father treated him in some bad ways. And part of the reason that Shia LaBeouf is such an amazing actor is because of the shit that his dad did to him. Like, he was wrong in so many ways, and in so many ways of his being wrong is part of the reason that Shia is the type of actor he is. And he's, in my mind, he's an amazing actor. Like, I love the stuff he does. No, Pauls. Not all fire agate is good. There's a lot of stuff that people sell that comes out of Saddle Mountain and Round Mountain and Black Mountain. And a lot of the stuff that people pull out of there is not good grade fire agate. There is some color that comes out of those places, but because there are no working mines, and because the people that go hunting for fire agate don't understand how to locate the mineral in the ground to dig for it, or to locate it in the wall to pull it off. And then even if they didn't understand the amount of work they would be getting into in order to pull the stuff off of there, the majority of the stuff that we see that comes out of there is not great grade. Somebody on here earlier said they have 500 pounds worth of Saddle Mountain in their backyard. They probably have like 3 pounds of good gem grade rough in their backyard, and they probably have 497 pounds of white agate. White agate. I mean, white, just white with no color. Like just white with like no color anywhere on it. Nothing that looks like it's going to be anything good. I mean, you might cut to the center and it might end up having a piece of fire agate in it, but got to find that source, man. I mean, I've seen some Saddle Mountain stuff that's good, but I've seen the majority of the stuff I've seen that's pulled off of there is not good. I honestly don't have any Deer Creek fire agate. D is going to send me a plane ticket, and we are going to go to the Deer Creek mine in May. No, because they're having a sale right now. If you didn't know, the Deer Creek fire agate mine is having a 50% off sale for anybody that wants to go out there and buy an hour on their machine. Shit. I about threw that dang fire agate across the room. This one I first showed you guys, it has those colors that are like just hidden underneath that brown. When I first started carving this piece, it had a huge white cap on it. And when I got through that white cap, right as I got to the clear had those colors on it first. And I went through them, and the same colors are still there, but I'm scared that they're going to disappear as I go through this brown cap because they're still just brown. I'm hoping that I get down and it's all on top underneath the brown and on a layer above this orange, but I'm not convinced that's going to happen. I think I'm going to lose a bunch of these colors. I hope not, though, but I'm still going to try and carve it to be an amazing piece of fire. That's for sure. Yeah, that's one thing about the fire agate in general. Modern prospectors, even at the Opal Hill claim, is that if you don't know where to actually dig, you'll find lots of agate. And when the first 3 miles walking into the claim, there is agate all over the place. I mean, just agate that looks like it would be fire agate, but there's none of the dark iron line in it. Now, I know for a fact, I shouldn't say it as that definitively. I'm absolutely 100% convinced that there is much more fire agate in that area than just on that claim. I'm absolutely convinced that 2 miles west of that claim, that there is a bunch more fire agate that hasn't been located yet. I'm absolutely convinced. Like I'm deadly convinced. But it might have 10 feet of overburden on it before you were to actually find the source in those areas. So, I mean, that's why a claim that's already been dug is just so much easier than really finding the source yourself, especially if you don't have a bulldozer, because that's how that claim was originally found, is with a bulldozer. I can't remember the dude's name. I believe they called him the Geode Kid. He's a very famous rock hound. He discovered all of Wiley Well pretty much when he was a kid, and he used to sit on the buckboard of his dad while his dad drove a Pony Express. And that's literally how that whole area was discovered, was by a little kid that used to jump off while his dad would take breaks and run into the hills and find all kinds of stuff. And he located 99% of the stuff that's out there. Yep. Moving basalt overburden does suck. The problem with basalt is that all of the holes in it make it to where it doesn't want to break. Like it can be easier to break through granite sometimes than it can basalt, because the granite will fracture and split. Whereas, especially if you're just using hand tools, the basalt will just like dully take the hit and not shake at all and not vibrate at all. Yes, it is. But I think we're past 11. We're past 11, and I need to get to bed, guys. I really appreciate all of you sticking around as long as you did, too. I really appreciate the right, Fishette. I loved him in Even Stevens. I forgot he was even in Even Stevens because I never started watching him until we're talking about Shia LaBeouf. I never started watching him until I saw the movie Holes. And when I saw the movie Holes, I fell in love with that kid. And if you haven't seen that movie Holes, it's not a kid's movie. It's just a great movie. Like, it's a movie about a kid, but it's not actually just for kids. It is a fantastic movie, Holes is. I completely forgot about him being in Even Stevens, and he was in a bunch of other stuff before he ever made it onto the Disney Channel. But yeah, Shia LaBeouf, I love him as an actor. He's a true artist at heart. That's an absolute fact. His life has proven that, and the Nike thing, just do it! Like, that whole proved it too. Like, he's one of the first memes that was ever on the internet that was really a true hardcore meme. So I gotta go to bed, y'all. And I'll see you guys again soon. And next time I see me, we'll be carving some really great Slaughter Mountain fire agate. If Margaret, if you decide you want that stuff, just go ahead and send me a message, dear. And anybody else, I love you for watching. Thank you for making my little community on our live stream so awesome and a great place to hang out. Just remember that when we get up to where we have 1,000 people watching these live streams, still make sure it's a great place to hang out. At that point, I'm going to have to assign some of you OGs, some of you originals as moderators to keep everything cool. Because, we don't want a bunch of like racist crap or seriously hateful crap or too much political crap. I mean, we talk about political stuff, but you can't. Mining is a political thing. It just is. Mineral collection is a political thing. You cannot get away from that. And I plan on having other people on my podcast talk about that stuff too, that are better informed than I am, because there's some amazing stories about mining and politics. Anyways, I love you all for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making everything so awesome. And buy some rocks from my store. More of them are going to be up for sale tomorrow before noon my time, 10 o'clock on the West Coast and 1 o'clock on the East Coast. And if you liked any of those stones that the last video was up, they're for sale right now in my store. Good night, everybody. Anita, that's right. We'll boot you out. No trolls. You guys are awesome.